I'm not going to lie to you. I think Twitter has done irreparable damage to the wrestling business. I'm kind of tired of wrestlers crying on Twitter, man. Sick of it. Sick of it. I'm sick of the shooter interviews. People stick their microphones in their face and they just have to feel like they have to vent about something. Now we got Rhea Ripley crying about the criticism that she gets on. Jesus Christ, why does she care? Let's just get into the tweet. Women's wrestling fan. Women deserve better. Same breath, she's sleeping with her boss. That's why she's where she is. She should retire. She doesn't deserve it. She's handed everything and never worked for anything. I hope she gets injured. You guys are the real reason it's so difficult to be taken seriously as a women's wrestler. If you put as much effort into your own miserable lives as you put into degrading successful women, then maybe you would accomplish something yourself. End of quote. You're not going to be able to stop people from criticizing you, okay? And even if you look at these criticisms as illegitimate, the one reasons I will say that the illegitimate one is people saying that folks are sleeping with their boss. That stuff happens all the time. It's even an accusation that the guys get. You know, people have accused Shawn Michaels of stuff like this. It is what it is. Conspiracies are what they are. And some people are nuts. You just can't get away from that. If you want to be taken seriously, you have to be professional. You can't go on the internet and whine and cry and then people take you seriously. They're not going to take you seriously if you don't know how to handle basic criticism. Even in some cases, crazy criticism. You know? There's going to be people who are going to say absolutely psychotic things. You have to pretend you ain't see that shit. You know? You're going to have to pretend that, or be comfortable in yourself that you know these things are not true. And don't concern yourself with it. People kayfabe themselves sometimes. They kayfabe themselves into all kinds of stuff. All kind of crazy stories they didn't concoct it in their own minds. You ain't responsible for fixing any of that stuff. It's up to you to be confident and comfortable in yourself. This reaction comes from a lack of confidence, in my opinion. You know, she's starting to not be able to handle the pressure. And being a top dog in WWE comes with a ton of pressure. There's going to be constantly people yelling at you, tweeting bad things about you, saying negative stuff about you. And if you can't handle it, then people are not going to take you seriously. Now, there's people who are like, oh, she's not going to be taken seriously because she does sexy pictures or thirst traps or whatever. It's like, who gives a fuck about that? You know, like, don't be a virgin. Nobody cares about these thirst traps. That doesn't mean a damn thing. People can do both. People can be serious performers and also be attractive. I mean, it's not like you have to make a choice. You know, if that was the case, God wouldn't make attractive people talented at all. They'd just be attractive and that's it. You know, people can be both. They can be both attractive and talented. I mean, one or the other. But I will say this. Some people are only following you or interested in you because of your ass. And those people will absolutely just headcanon themselves into all kinds of shenanigans. Again, not your problem. Not your problem why somebody likes you or why somebody doesn't like you. You know, social media is an experience that you can curate yourself. You don't want to see certain negative shit, you can block it. You can even put it on a ban list, a mute list or whatever and never see that stuff. Now, I did see somebody CGI a picture of Rhea Ripley kissing Triple H, which I thought was absolutely crazy. It was psychotic. And I think shortly after that, I saw this tweet. So I'm going to just headcanon myself to think she saw this and decided to respond to it because it was kind of triggering. I understand you might see something like that and say, I can't let that one lay. People tweet negative stuff about me all the time, but now they're using artificial intelligence to show me and Triple H making out, or that we're about to kiss, or alluding to something. And this is what happens when people are too deep into the dirt sheets. They start getting all these stories, and now Triple H and Stephanie are divorced. And because now they're divorced, he's banging all the girls on the roster, and CM Punk's banging all the girls in NXT, and everybody's having orgies all over the place. And I'm just sitting back like, you guys are just making up all kinds of shit. Have fun with that, you know? But people are seeing that, and these are real people involved. You might want to chill, but at the same time, they have to be above it. There's nothing you can do about people spreading rumors and gossiping. The thing is, if it's not true, then so what? But, you know, I also get that it's not me. You know? It's different when people are putting your name on it. When people are posting your pictures. I get that. But the easiest way to be taken seriously as a wrestler is to be professional. And part of being professional is not letting stuff like this get under your skin. Because everybody is getting stuff like this. Everybody's being made fun of for some reason on the internet. You know? Everybody's being made fun of, whether they're successful or a failure on the internet. I mean, recently, Javon Evans called Tony Khan a crackhead. People have talked about him doing cocaine. All sorts of just absolutely crazy stuff. There's an artificial intelligence video, not a video, but I think a GIF of Tony Khan rubbing his face in white powder. There's all kinds of crazy stuff on the internet. You can't do anything about that stuff. If you want to be taken serious as a professional wrestler, you should be, first of all, professional. Rhea Ripley doesn't have anything to be insecure about. There's tons of people who like her, organically. Her push reflects the amount of interest people have in her. People don't want to see her lose. They don't want to see her get beat up. They think she has charisma. They like the aggressive nature of the character. Be confident. We know she has, confidence issues. Like they all do. Performers always have this sort of doubt in the back of their mind that whether they truly deserve to be in the place that they're in or not. She's got to have more confidence. She needs to be less insecure. Now, I want to talk about this interesting bit here. She thinks that this is coming from women's wrestling fans. And a lot of it is, believe it or not. When their favorite is not being pushed, they have to come up with some reason why, Liv Morgan or Julia or Roxanne or Io or somebody isn't getting the push. And it's got to be the go-to, like I said earlier, you're fucking the boss. It's the go-to. It's the easy way, because people who are thick-brained like this, they can't imagine that talent can get you anywhere in the world. They just like, oh, look at Diddy and look at all this stuff. These people are sexually attracted to each other. It's like, yeah, not to say that it doesn't happen ever, but I can't just say everybody who became successful is successful due to some sort of degeneracy. You have to prove it. You have to provide some sort of evidence that somebody is getting the push because of a degenerate reason. If you can't provide any evidence and it's just, trust me, bro, I'm not that interested. Everybody's theories are equally valid, but without any weight behind it, who really cares? Who really cares? Everybody thought that CM Punk was banging Cora Jade and then she got fired, and then everybody was like, well, like why would CM Punk let them fire one of his little girlfriends? Nobody's been able to answer that question yet. Like everybody just kind of assumed that it was true and then continued to assume that it's true. Like, that's ridiculous, man. At a time like this, while the company's under investigation for sex trafficking, we got CM Punk turning NXT into a brothel and Triple H trying to bang Rhea Ripley. This is what people believe while they're under investigation and all that. Come on, man. Now is the time where everybody's going to be on their best behavior. Or at least attempt to be. If there was something going on, it's got to be on pause by now. Nobody's going to run that risk. Nobody wants to be in the news for that shit all over again. I don't know. Look, I don't get too much into who's dating who's doing what. I don't get too much into that. I look at the stuff on the screen. If something outside the screen makes it onto the screen or somehow influences what happens on the screen, I will absolutely acknowledge that. But you cross that bridge when you come to it. I think jumping to that conclusion is just nuts. It's nuts to jump to these conclusions. So, look, there's nothing you can't inject, security into people, confidence into people. She's not going to get that from a barbell or a new tattoo. It's got to be something she finds within herself. So one day she's going to have to smarten up and realize that, yes, people put disgusting shit on the internet. Yes, people are going to judge you for taking thirst trap pictures. Yes, people are going to say that you're one of Triple H's favorites. That's why you're getting pushed, because you got all this privilege and all this preference. And yeah, you're going to have to deal with all that. I mean, look at Jey Uso. Everybody's like, oh, Jey Uso only getting pushed because he's Roman's cousin, because Rikishi is pushing buttons on Triple H. Like, since when does Rikishi have any sort of authority over Triple H that he can threaten him to get Jey Uso a push? Like, since when? But I've seen people entertain this argument. Like, you can't entertain every stupid fucking argument that floats around on the internet. You have to let certain things die on the vine. This is one of those things that is so absurd. You should just let it die on the vine, but you couldn't because you're insecure. Confidence comes through competence. If you're really good at your job and other people recognize that you're good at your job, stuff like this wouldn't bother you. So I'm going to leave that right there. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
No one does it better.